Hello. Welcome to the Alex Gem Experience. Today's podcast is about meditation. Yes, one of the most important, significant and powerful practices we can ever do, and one of the best daily routines we can ever get into. And I'm going to outline many reasons why. So yes, let's briefly talk through what meditation is, the different types of meditation very quickly as well. And then I'm going to look into teaching you guys how to actually meditate most effectively, going through the ins and outs in terms of our physiology, our posture, what to focus on, all these sorts of things. And then we'll dive into the many benefits in greater depth a bit later on. So briefly, meditation to me, right? Meditation for me over the last few years has been absolutely instrumental. It really has enabled me to be better at emotional regulation, be better at detaching from unwanted thoughts and subsequent feelings, and therefore negative behaviors, cause and effect essentially. And meditation for me has done wonders in terms of improving my sleep quality, because, I went through a difficult phase in my early to mid-20s where I was putting so much pressure on myself. And I guess you could say I was living in chronic stress because I wasn't quite where I wanted to be, and I was still very much living within my egoic mind predominantly. So always obsessed with wanting more, being better, not feeling like I was enough, not feeling like I could, get the investments that I was looking for, not thinking that I could ever be a business person, not ever thinking that I could settle down with an amazing woman, and all these sorts of things. I had all kinds of limiting beliefs, and no one's perfect, and I don't claim to be perfect by any means, because there's no such thing as perfect anyways. But I can wholeheartedly convey that meditation for me has brought me a long way. Just in terms of my peace, my ability to stay focused, remain disciplined. I have more balanced neurotransmitters. I'm able to sleep, and I'm more restful. I don't suffer from irritability. I'm not as frustrated or negative or angry or anxious as like I used to be. My relationships with many people in many different situations blossom better than they've ever done. I'm so much more giving, and I have so many more unconditional loving relationships, which I speak quite a lot about, and I think it's some of the very foundations for happiness, and I think meditation has helped me guide me down that path. And meditation, for me, the most important thing that I personally love about meditation is that how it connects me, not just within, but how it connects me to the world. And I don't feel the need to be significant or to feel superior to any other people. And to be fair, I never had that a great extremity to feel better than others and those sorts of things. But it did exist more so than it does now, for sure. And I truly believe that meditation has played a part in that. And, there are many reasons why, I took so long to latch on to meditation and to benefit from the amazing effects that meditation brings. I have prefrontal cortex doesn't fully develop until the age of 25. And, being a young man, virile man, I was easily distracted, had lots of limiting beliefs, didn't have a clear vision. I wasn't regularly being influenced by role models in different areas who can show me the way. I've always been blessed with a good family, to be fair. But sometimes you can get lost in your comfort zone, and that's why sometimes being in the middle class is one of the worst positions if you want to really take your quality of life to the next level, because you're already quite comfortable. So there's no urge to challenge yourself, to push yourself, to go above and beyond, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's my situation. Meditation has brought me a long way, and I'm a massive proponent of meditation, for sure. And after this podcast, if you're not someone who currently utilizes meditation, you're going to also see great value in doing so as well. So let's dive straight in. Why do people meditate? Like I said, many reasons: spiritual reasons, religious reasons, medical reasons, wanting to overcome fears, become more peaceful, more happy, and so on and so forth. Those are some of the general benefits that we gain. Meditation is therapeutic. It's a wonderful practice. And it boosts our immune function. It supports our insulin response, so we're more insulin sensitive, which can prevent or at least delay things like cancer and type 2 diabetes and so on and so forth. And brain-related illness, age-related illnesses like Alzheimer's and dementia. So obviously those are some of the subsequent benefits that derive from that, and it reduces our blood pressure. What else do you want? It's simply sitting down, breathing. Really, if you make it that simple, and yet the simplest and easiest things to do. Well, to be fair, I don't think many people can do it. A lot of people agree on paper that meditation is easy, but for many people, especially if you're someone who's used to living in chronic stress, it's very hard to calm your brain and to just sit there and focus on your breathing, and to not have all these kind of thoughts intrude upon your focus. So a lot of people say it's easy, but if you're not doing it on a daily or regular basis, then is it really easy? Do you know what I mean? Knowledge is only power if you execute it, right? And the same goes for meditation and all kinds of other fantastic practices like regular exercise, learning, reading, journaling, writing out your goals, being grateful, all these sorts of other wonderful practices. So yes, meditation can reduce anxiety, lower stress. Like I said earlier, it balances the function of our neurotransmitters, making sure that we have appropriate amounts of like serotonin, dopamine, GABA, norepinephrine, epinephrine, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it truly is amazing. And we can see meditation as being like gym for the brain. Just like how when we go to the gym, obviously if you train a lot and you exercise often, you benefit from, the endorphins, the movement, the activity, the focus. Moving around makes you feel more alive. And if you don't exercise for a substantial period of time, there is muscle atrophy. We lose our muscle. And the same exists for meditation. I don't care if you used to do it a year ago, or you went through a phase of meditating every day for 4 or 5 years. If you're not doing it now, then your brain is worsening. I know to you it might sound like hyperbole, but to me it's not. If you're not meditating now, you're doing your brain a disservice. Because meditation is also very much interrelated with sleep quality, and I'll talk later about the importance of sleep. And if you're someone who suffers from insomnia or restlessness and irritability, and you're short-tempered, then meditation can really improve your quality of sleep, not just the length and duration, but the quality as well, making sure we get those sleep swindles in, the kind of appropriate deep sleep brainwaves, deep REM sleep. So yeah, the whole point of it is that meditation calms both the mind and the body. It quietens the mind and the body, right? And there are many different types of meditation, to be fair. You've got some people who like to meditate whilst using affirmations. So affirmations are just when you say sentences in your mind over and over again. You could do that aloud, I guess. In that sense, it's more like an incantation. But affirmations are when you say something or think certain thoughts to yourself all over and over again. So you might think to yourself, I am blessed, I am loving, I am giving, I am abundant, I am flourishing, I am blossoming, I'm growing, I'm ever learning, I love myself, I love everyone, or whatever it might be, whatever affirmations that you choose to repeat in order to indoctrinate yourself with those beliefs. Because whenever you use the words I am, those pronouns, you command yourself into a destiny. Essentially, you're teaching yourself, you're saying to yourself that this is the way you are now, and also this is the way you're likely to be in the future. So yeah, some people prefer kind of forcing themselves to think certain thoughts over and over again in order to try and influence their own subconscious programming, their patterns, if you will. Other people who like to meditate, you like to utilize Tai Chi. So that's obviously meditation, but with movement, very firm, controlled movements. And that's also very beautiful, very therapeutic. One of the reasons why I'm a massive fan of those sorts of types of meditation is that or yoga and these sort of activities is that it really guarantees congruency in terms of the mind and body and the heart for that matter. Because when you connect mind, body, heart, what happens is everything flows together and you're more likely to kind of attract and move toward more beautiful, blissful states rather than having that conflict within, conflict between your wants, conflict between your desires, your priorities, conflict between what your mind wants to do and what your body wants to do. And when you do things like Tai Chi or yoga and so on and so forth, these are great practices for making sure that there is amazing synchronicity within as it relates to your heart, your brain. I'm not going to talk too much about experiencing gamma brainwave states, but meditation does help you to experience, I'd say, two or three of the most profound brainwave states for influencing our subconscious and making us feel more abundant, more conscious, more awakened, more loving, and therefore more pleasant beings to be around. So that would be theta brainwave state. When you kind of drift in and out of consciousness. When you enter deep meditation, many people experience theta, but you have to be careful when you get to theta because the next level after that is delta when you're sleeping. And I'll talk about that a bit later as well. But really, when you're in a mild meditation, you're experiencing alpha brainwave state, which is all about relaxed awareness. It's when we are most creative, along with gamma brainwave state. So interestingly, you have to drop into alpha and then theta in order to kind of go back up, if you will, to experience gamma. Gamma is the brainwave state that is most alert. It's like focused alertness. Your brain, actually regions of your brain actually work harder when you're meditating, and when you're experiencing gamma, you feel so alive, you feel so alert, you have so much energy, you are so fully focused. You're not like tired and lethargic. You're so switched on, and that's one of the most beautiful, that is the most beautiful brainwave state we should look to experience on a regular basis, and meditation can help us to experience that, not just during the meditation itself, but to teach us to look to experience that on a more regular basis. And then you've obviously got meditation that's primarily based on breathing, so you're essentially following your breath back and forth, paying attention to the pause between your breaths, and really ensuring that that's your sole focus throughout the meditation. Really challenging for newbies, but definitely worth the struggle because of the profound life-affecting influences that we experience. So, let's now talk about the physical aspects of meditation. Where can you meditate? Well, technically, you can meditate anywhere, all right? There's no such thing in terms of like where to meditate. Now, interestingly, you get all kinds of different benefits from meditating in certain places, okay? So let's say there are places where you're more comfortable, where you feel more relaxed. If you're someone who's new to meditation, then especially whilst you're developing your experience in meditation, I think it's better for you to experience your meditation where you're somewhere quite comfortable, quite relaxed, where you're not going to be overthinking and be a bit worried and conscious of yourself and others. So pick somewhere where you feel more relaxed, maybe like a bedroom as such, or open space, or if you've got an indoor gym or somewhere where you can sit down, and so on and so forth, because you want to be able to control your thoughts. And when you're new to meditation, what you'll notice is that your own unconscious and your own egoic mind, your own conditioned consciousness will try to trip you up in many ways. So because whenever you're doing something that you're not familiar with, your brain is very intelligent, your unconscious is very smart, and it will look to put you off from doing it any longer. So, for example, and this is what I experienced in the first several months when I started meditating, I noticed, what did I notice? Lost my train of thought there. I noticed that I'd have certain thoughts intrude, and because I'm generally a very productive, disciplined, hardworking person, and I still am. It's just that I'm much better at switching it on and off. But back then I wasn't. So I'd sit down to meditate, and then after like a minute or two, I'd be like, this is silly. I haven't got time to sit down and do silence. I've got so many things to do. I'm barely going to be able to fit it all in. Or I'd have other thoughts such as, this isn't going to work, or I've got so much to do, or, I've got other things I want to think about. I can't just sit here in silence for a while. And I'd find ways of putting myself off. And you've got to, don't get angry with yourself if and when these kind of thoughts come to you, or if you've got other thoughts that come to your mind saying this isn't going to work, or only stupid people do this sort of stuff, or only hippies or what have you sort of do these kind of activities, and it's all silly. And everyone has their own ways of putting themselves off from doing things that they know they should do. So I suggest, if you're new to meditation, to meditate somewhere where you're familiar, where you're more likely to remain comfortable. You're not likely to experience beta and high beta brainwave states, which is where you think like 60 thoughts or more every single minute, where you're constantly overthinking. That compulsive thinking takes over. You start thinking about your scenario, your past, your future, and then you get lost in your ego again, overly identifying with the mind. So instead, force yourself to sit there. If those thoughts come to you and try to put you off from meditating, force your body to stay there, because that means to me that your body's your emotions are greater than your mind, your thinking, and it's very hard to change your quality of life. It's very hard to change your consciousness, your level, your depth, if you will. It's very hard to become enlightened, awakened for that matter, if you can't think greater than how you feel. And you condition your body exemplifies your unconscious. And you're going to need to work and overcome that. And you're going to need to appease and calm your unconscious down, calm yourself down. And just make sure that you stick by it and stick with it. And really, the key to meditation is not judging yourself if and when thoughts come to mind. And if you're stressed, or if you've got a lot of things going on, or if you're not able to calm your brain, these sort of things will happen. Just let those thoughts pass by. Remain present. Focus on your breathing, or focus on your affirmations, or focus on your movements. And stay present. Stay focused on the now. Don't let your brain, like if your brain goes back to the past, or something that happened to you emotional recently, or many decades ago for that matter, or if you start thinking about the future, like you've got an important meeting or important phone call, or you've got an important thing to start preparing for, just let those thoughts go and bring your focus back to your breathing, back to your movements, and so on and so forth. And that's one of the ways that you can stay on track. Now, for those, sorry about that, I said that in a very weird way. Now, if you're someone who's more experienced with meditation, then you might want to start benefiting from neuroplasticity as well. And meditation is the gateway to neuroplasticity in many different ways. So what do I mean by that? Whenever you go into certain physical environments, what happens is our brains tend to switch on everything that we already know about those environments. So if you go into a school setting, if you go into the office, if you walk into the gym, if you go to get your hair cut, your brain usually turns on the same kind of internal dialogue when you enter those situations. Those are your subconscious programs. It reminds you, you have certain associations to those environments. For example, is there anyone that when you think about them and you imagine their face that you get stressed? Or if you think of someone and immediately you start to feel aroused for that matter? Or whatever emotions it evokes within you. The reason why that happens is because you've got certain associations, certain mental, emotional patterns, certain visions and images, and therefore strong, vivid emotions and connections that you have to those things or people. And the same happens with our physical environments as well. But when you go into an unfamiliar environment, it could be a new, like meditating by the beach, or meditating in a hotel room, or it could be meditating when on holiday, or meditating in a massive open space that you've never been to before, or somewhere very peaceful, or in a forest or in a park that you've never visited before. When you go to new environments, it forces you to think of new thoughts. And this is very important because, if you want new results in your life, you need new thoughts. And if you need new thoughts, you've got to do new and different things. And this is how we stimulate neuroplasticity and therefore benefit from also activating neurogenesis, the formation of new neurons within your hippocampus in your brain. So yes, you become more intelligent by experiencing more things because you're constantly challenging your brain. You're making new connections in your brain. That's what learning is. Learning is making new synaptical connections, making new connections amongst existing but also new neurons. That's learning. So yes, meditation, especially meditating in new, unfamiliar areas with very challenging, very breathtaking, very beautiful experiences. And that's when you might want to start to expand upon the places in which you meditate. Okay. So what do you do with your body? What do you do with the body when you meditate? So very briefly, listen, technically you can meditate anywhere. You can meditate in bed, you can meditate lying down, you can meditate lying on a sofa. I mean, you can meditate sitting in a chair. But experts, and those who are advanced in meditation, strongly believe that the best form of meditation is sitting on the floor, upright posture, head is neutral. Meditate on your back straight up, like I said. Because it forces you to remain focused and alert in that position. If you're constantly thinking, ensuring that your posture is upright and strong and that you're facing forward, it ensures that you are very much focused. Because if you were to lie in bed, you might get too comfortable, you might fall asleep, you might start thinking about your egoic mind might switch on because you're not bothered by your physiology, if you will. Your body language is overly comfortable. And you might not be able to really, really get into deep meditation and remain awake for that matter. So your feet is actually one of the most significant things for you to focus on when you meditate. You can cross your feet as in the sense of making a pretzel, if you will. You can place your feet one on top of the other, which is the preferred method. But you obviously need a certain degree of flexibility and mobility in order to do that move. But it's very powerful and you can get there. It just takes time. Just stick with it, just like anything in life. Keep your arms relaxed on your thighs, no tension. Keep your hands pressed together like you're trying to hold a cup, or you can have your thumbs pressed next to each other. As long as your hands are relaxed, that's the most important thing. Like I said, make sure your head is neutral, not tilting up, down, or to the sides at all. Technically you can experience meditation with your eyes open or your eyes closed. If you're new to meditation, I suggest that you start with your eyes closed, because if you have your eyes open, you'll start to focus on things, and that's gonna allow you to get into a trance. But that's not what we're after. We're not after a trance necessarily. We are after pure focus in the present moment, not losing your consciousness, but remaining alert, remaining focused, remaining in control of your thoughts, your emotions, your breathing, and so on. More experienced people who meditate may wish to have their eyes open or closed. Doesn't really matter, because they're just so used to commanding that level of focus when they get into certain postures and physiology. And they're so experienced at gathering those kind of that state that it's just easy. They can do it at whim, essentially, and they can turn it on when they're in normally functioning society as well, when they're interacting with people and just at work or in the office or on the phone, or they're just so much calmer generally, and that's one of the main benefits really that happen as a result of meditating consistently. So yes, how long should you meditate for? Well, listen, if you're new to meditating, go for 5 minutes. You don't want to put yourself off by making it too demanding, because time starts to pass by. I feel like I'm singing a song here. So slowly. Sorry. I sincerely apologize. But it will pass by slowly. And because you're not experiencing flow. Flow is all about when you're doing an activity and there's an appropriate amount of challenge based upon the experience that you're doing. But you don't feel overwhelmed. You're not, because when you do something that's too difficult for too long and you're too far outside your comfort zone, you'll be quite stressed out, really anxious, really fearful, and so on and so forth. And if you're also doing something that's too easy for that matter, for instance, if you got yourself to meditate for just 1 minute, I mean, come on, guys, 1 minute is so easy. Too easy. So you're not going to experience flow. You're not going to enjoy meditating because it went by so quickly. So 5 minutes. Aim for 5 to 10 minutes if you're new to meditation. Then thereafter, you do whatever you want, really. You can go 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. You can do a full hour if you want. The world's your oyster, they say. And meditation is all about being present, and you can't be happier than when you're present in the moment. So, just enjoy it. And what should we do when meditating? In terms of our breathing, I want you to really focus on every single inhale and every single exhale. You breathe in. Make sure you're not breathing just through your chest. We don't want it to be a shallow breath. We want it to be a nice deep breath where you take in lots of oxygen, but nice and calmly. You don't want to make yourself feel uncomfortable. Breathe in, open up your abdomen. Your diaphragm will contract and lower. Fill up your lungs with air nice and slowly, and then hold your breath for several seconds. So say if it took you about 4 seconds to breathe in, I want you to hold your seconds for, say, 6 seconds. So I want you to hold your breath longer than when you were inhaling. And then I want you to exhale for even longer than you held your breath. So you could see it in terms of breathing in for 4 seconds, holding your breath for 6 seconds, and breathing out for 8 seconds, if you will. So let's see if you can hear it through here. So I'm breathing in now. So you're breathing out nice and slowly as though you're breathing out through a straw. Really calm breaths. Just do that consistently. You'll feel yourself becoming more conscious, maybe a little lightheaded, which is absolutely fine because it's an unusual experience for most people when they're not used to it. So yes, really focus on your breathing. Focus on channeling your energy. Focus on sending your energy up through your body, through your organs, in terms of your sexual organs, and channel that energy up through your digestive system, and then channel that energy up to your heart and feel that oxygen pumping in your heart, and then channel that energy and send that energy up to your brain. And when you focus, and I want you to send that energy to the top of your head and really keep it there. And that's how you ensure synchronicity. That's how you experience gamma brainwave states. And gamma brainwave states also support neuroplasticity and therefore neurogenesis as well. And I told you how important those are for helping you to become more intelligent, more insightful, learning, being able to change your limiting beliefs, becoming more empowered, more peaceful, generally more awakened. So when you're experiencing gamma brainwave state and you send your energy up like that, if you will, you enable greater brain and heart coherence, and different parts of your brain begin to connect. Your frontal cortex, your forebrain, begins to communicate better with the back of your brain, and the side, your two hemispheres starts to connect back and forth more fluently, more seamlessly, and when you do so, it just ensures synchronicity, congruency, and that's one of the best things you can possibly gain from meditation. So resist the urge to scratch or move your body around too much unnecessarily. Resist opening your eyes and shutting them too often. Just remain calm and just pacify yourself through your breathing, if you will. So how often should you meditate? Listen, we're going to want to get it to become a daily practice. I mean, if you don't have 10 minutes to give yourself on a regular basis, then Tony Robbins says you don't have a life. If you don't give yourself 10 minutes, you don't have a life. So meditate on a regular basis. When should you meditate? Well, you might want to meditate in the morning as part of your morning ritual, if you want to call it that, as a way of getting yourself into the right mental state for the rest of the day. So you set the standard high. You start the day relaxed rather than being enthralled in chronic stress, and where you kind of exacerbate your levels of stress and cholesterol and all these sorts of things. Cortisol levels rise unnecessarily. So meditation is a great way of putting things into perspective, so you don't get too stressed out at work or with your friends or with your spouse or with your kids. You might also want to integrate meditation in terms of your nighttime routine to support you to kind of clock off, if you will, to make sure that you go from beta or high beta brainwave states and kind of lower and calm your thoughts, so you fall into more the subconscious states such as alpha and theta, and obviously delta is where you want to get to when you're getting ready to sleep. So meditation is a great way to calm your brain, to get yourself ready to relax and experience melatonin and GABA, and to really relax and switch off so you can have nice peaceful sleep, to sleep well. So in the morning, in the evening, and if you're someone who gets quite stressed out about things on a regular basis throughout the day, then obviously a short, brief, powerful form of meditation would be recommended to get you into the right mental state. So you can meditate at the office, again, eyes open, just nice, calm, deep breath, focusing on your breathing only. You can meditate in the sauna, in the steamer. You can meditate in the toilet, in the restrooms. You can meditate anywhere, really. It's just a few moments, a few minutes to yourself. You can meditate in front of people. They don't have to know unless you're involved in a conversation with them. So meditation can and should be used anytime you feel like you want to take greater command, anytime you want to become present and teach yourself to not get overly obsessed with the egoic mind and thinking too much about past or future, or being time bound for that matter. So yes, let's look at the many benefits that come from meditation. So interestingly, these are really powerful things. You actually become more focused on your goals as a result of meditating consistently. People tend to be more empathetic, more thoughtful, more caring, more giving if they make it a regular practice to meditate. So obviously, therefore, it also consequently positively affects our relationships as well when you are more empathetic, more thoughtful, more caring, and so on and so forth. So yes, like I told you about the benefits of what it does to your brainwave states. It reduces anger, anxiety, stress, sadness, depression, all fearful emotions, reduce significantly. And not only might it alleviate, it can help to reduce those kind of negative, fearful thinking and the subsequent emotions that they evoke. Meditation also interestingly increases our heart rate variability, very much like exercise and sauna does as well. Because what it does is it helps you to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide throughout your body better, and that improves your heart rate variability, improves how your heart functions. It ensures that your heart can cope with and deal with anything that might kind of make you more stressed out and so on and so forth, so that you don't essentially have a heart attack or a stroke for that matter, because you're consistently breathing, reducing stress, and therefore benefiting in many areas of your life by doing so. Also improves quality of sleep. Quality of sleep massively improves our immune function, how our brain functions. Meditation massively helps sleep, and when you sleep well, you actually become a more creative person because you're experiencing deep REM sleep more often. You're less likely to suffer from insomnia and therefore hallucinate. So sleep quality is important, and meditation really, really helps with that. So make sure you sleep well, and meditation is a massive key in making that happen. Meditation can improve our mood, very much like exercise does. Like I said at the offset of this podcast, it can improve our emotional regulation, making us more in control of our emotions, making us more centered, more peaceful, and therefore when we're not living in the stress response, we actually process information better. We don't become defensive and negative or overprotective or ruining our relationships with people, because we have better emotional control and we put things into perspective when we are able to control our breathing, our focus, and so on and so forth. So meditation is very much linked to improving our emotional intelligence as well. So yeah, I strongly recommend making it a consistent theme. Do it on a regular basis. Daily would be preferred, so you can turn it into a subconscious program, and it becomes easier and easier for you to access those kind of beautiful, blissful states. So take ownership of your life. Challenge yourself. Make sure that you do it. Make sure you know your lifestyle and you know when is best for you to meditate. Also, don't always do it at certain times. Be flexible as well. You want that variety to really, really love and experience that spontaneity with meditation too. So, if you've got a few minutes to yourself before a meeting, or you're in the office, or or I don't know, you're getting ready to go gym, you have to wait around, or you're in a queue, just that's a time for you to really focus on your breathing, on your focus, and become a healthier and happier person as a result. And that will conclude today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you understand the importance and significance of meditation and what it can do for you. I hope you also have a better idea of how to meditate. If you want to understand it, becoming more conscious, more awakened, more enlightened, more peaceful, more giving, more happy, developing your self-esteem, you may want to get my book, The Art of Power, Happiness and Success. You can get that at Amazon. You can also get the ebook at my store at www.alexgemstore.com. You can also get my course, the power system, essentially helping you transform the quality of your life. Many people have reported not only benefiting in terms of their relationships, in terms of their self-love, being more grateful, but they've also outlined, they make more money, they make better connections. People have told me how much weight they've been losing ever since they've started to integrate the activities and the worksheets and the videos that they listen to, and the incredible bonuses. I give away 3 amazing ebooks, each worth $50. You get it for free when you get the course as well. Also, hours of exclusive video footage, podcast material, and all the 100 audio segments teaching you how to become more peaceful, more awakened, more positive, teaching you really insightful things, nuanced things that are going to make a massive difference to the quality of your life. Those are just bonuses as well. So the course is incredible, but the bonuses are absolutely ridiculous as well. I offer a 30-day money-back guarantee as well, just so you have that extra reassurance, and just in case your unconscious is freaking out right now, going, Alex, maybe not now, maybe not at the time. Just go for it. Be calm, be peaceful. Start benefiting from the course, and start that today. Go for it. Have a good day, guys. Stay strong. Make sure you find me on all kinds of social media platforms. You can find me on Facebook, AlexGem _ Power. Actually, that was my Instagram. AlexGem Power, Happiness and Success. You can find my Facebook page as well. Come join the team. Join and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Power, Happiness and Success with AlexGem. Type that in. That's my YouTube. Get regular updates every single day, every single week, keeping you on track, changing your subconscious programs, giving you more control, making you more intelligent. And what else do you want in life? You are welcome. And, it's my pleasure to serve you, to share knowledge with you. I hope I inspire. I hope I help in many different ways. And look after yourself, stay strong and stay safe. Bye.